beat this beat. Jay, drop a beat.
No.
Smart Crumb Weebies. My name is Cole. His name is Mike. His name is Jay. We like anime. And this is episode 163 of AniPro. And on this week's episode, we are reviewing the manga Vampeerz.
This is true.
Little known manga. Yeah, it's true.
This is true. I checked.
I checked. I did the research. Vampeerz.
Did the research include you reading it, Jay?
No, I just researched what we were we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the general consensus? Yeah.
That's the meta strategy. Is you just look into what people think about it and just formulate your opinion based on what people say.
I didn't do the research on what people thought about it. I did the research on what we were doing today.
Oh,
okay. Oh, okay.
You didn't even look into it. You're like, what are we doing? Okay, we're going to review Vampeerz.
Got it.
Here's the trick. Here's the trick this episode, listeners. 2 of us didn't read it. 1 of us did. Try to figure out which one of us
read it.
actually read the manga.
And then the third one of us is actually AI too.
Yeah.
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 Take your pick. No AI could make this shirt. I'll tell you that right now.
No AI could make this show so good.
Yeah.
Our genius frankly baffles all the GPUs going into AI's brain. It's just like people want this.
It's weird.
People
Like
want of this.
One of us
AI's
just like
brain.
goes up to a computer and presses go, and we just see like a bunch of smoke just come out of our computers. Like it's
It just gives. It just quits.
like it's
You know, the go
power's
button
down.
on your computer. You know.
the
Go.
go button.
go.
Yeah.
Go.
We're also in preparation because thank you so much for voting on the Weebies, everybody. I think, Mike, last time I checked, we were over 60 votes, which is
That's right.
that's great. Thank you so
The
much.
one thing that we strive for is to be better all the time, and we've surpassed last year's vote total. So that thank you very much, everyone who voted. You guys are the superstars.
Yeah.
Listen, we didn't surpass anything. You, the listener, did.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you.
That's a better way to
Thank
put
you
Went
so much.
further beyond, and we couldn't have asked for more.
Yeah.
So
And
thank
this-
you so much.
You went even further beyond, and this is to go even further beyond. We're doing the
Plus
middies.
ultra. Yeah.
We're doing the middies today. So, you know, the bad stuff. But we've curated the list a little bit. So it'll just be our first half will be the middies, and our second half will go into the review of Vampeerz. So,
Cole, what are the middies?
well, the middies are the worst of the year. You know,
'Cause the Weebies are the best of the year.
The Weebies are the
middies
best of the
worst
year.
of the year.
Middies are the
Oh.
worst of the year, and I'm so surprised that nobody has ever picked out middies as an award title. It just it
Well, it's
works.
ours now. They can't.
No, they
Yeah,
can't.
No, it's ours. We trademark.
Yeah, no.
TM,
Like if anybody
copyright.
does it now, then we can listen. If like Trash Taste comes out and they're like, "We've got the middies," we can get famous off of being like, "No, we actually had the middies first."
Yeah, we've been doing this for years now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
literally years. But like I was saying, rather than going through every category, we've only got 8? 8 categories.
Categories. That
Yeah.
sounds about right.
But before we get into going over the worst of the worst this year, just real quick, I just want to check in with my boys. Mike,
Yeah. Hey.
you're looking good. How's it going?
Thank you. It's the tight white shirt. Tight white shirt looks good on everyone.
Oh, hey,
See, we're
yeah,
all
white
wearing
shirt day today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I threw a tarp over top of it, but
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to be tarps on. Sometimes you got to be tarps off, you know?
I'm always
it's a
tarps
matter-
on, never nude. Yeah.
Never nude. That is true. Yeah. That is true. I can confirm. I've never seen Cole naked. I've seen other people naked, though.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
Anyway, what did you ask me? What's on my mind?
Yeah, no, what's up? How's it going?
It's good. I watched the. I've been reading a lot of manga and I've been playing a lot of video games lately. So
nice.
I'll give a quick summary on all of that. I'm
Just
just
real
gonna
quick.
hijack the whole first half of this episode just to talk about me. That's just what
Give
I
me
do.
a one.
I talk about
Give
me.
me a 1-syllable review of everything that you've ingested.
Okay, so I've beat the first 2
That's way more
endings
than
of
one
That's
Nier.
syllable.
way more than one syllable.
1 syllable, real
One
quick.
syllable. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty neutral.
It's not
Not
very-
a
it's
word
not-
though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jay,
well,
how's your week been in 1 syllable?
Good.
Nice.
Nicely done.
Yeah, see, you should have done
can
that,
think of
Mike.
words.
Anyway, continue. I'm sorry. I just wanted to give you a lesson in brevity.
Well, I'm not good at that. So, let's see. Okay, I played Nier. I beat the first 2 endings. I have the second 2 endings to go. So I've beat A and B, and I have C and D to go. Very good game. Really enjoying it.
Do you agree? The A ending is the B ending is kind of meh.
Yeah,
agree?
A is like the true story, it feels like, and then B is like here's just a little bonus. Like here's a little you get to see from the other side. And then from what I can tell, C I think is like A in the way that it tells a new story and it's kind of a little more in depth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I haven't got there yet. I'm really enjoying it. I'm doing like all the side stuff and stuff. I put like quite a few hours into it. I'm glad that you two finally pushed me to play Nier though, because it's been a revelation. It's been very good. The lore in Nier is like next level. It's awesome. Like you're playing through the game and it's just like there's things that happen. You're just like it's making you like, why is this like this? I need to know. And then you kind of don't really know because it's kind of is it Yoko Taro? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah. A lot of it is up for interpretation, which is fine. Yeah,
very. Like there was one line in like I think it was in the B route. Yeah, it's in the B route because the dude hacks into your brain and he says, "You're thinking about blank A B or B2? What's her name? 2B. Like, yeah, my brain
to be
went blank
or
there.
not to be.
Yeah. And it's just like, it leaves things up to interpretation. That's just super cool. Okay. That's 1 down. 2 down.
Okay.
Been reading a lot of Blade of the Immortal. Me and Jay diverged on this. Jay started reading Vagabond. I started reading Blade of the Immortal. And for some reason, those two are like equivalent in my mind.
Okay.
I'm 2 volumes away from the end of it. So it's a lot of volumes. There's like 30 volumes and it's really good. I highly recommend it to anyone who, if you like Attack on Titan and like the dark, very like serious kind of graphic seinen titles, Blade of the Immortal is great. Definitely recommend it for people. It's weird though, because the manga volumes, like the 3-in-1s, are the author specifically requested that they mirror it and flip it, so you read it left to right. Very strange. It takes a lot of getting used to because it's like manga's
it's difficult. Yeah,
manga's the other way, my guy.
Yeah, this is wrong.
Yeah. Very good though, and I don't remember what the third thing was, so I'm gonna move on to Jay. Jay, what's going on with your week this week?
What's up? So I've been watching a lot of anime lately. I just caught up on My Happy Marriage. So I
nice.
watched season 2, episode 1 last night.
Nice.
And yeah, season 1 was pretty good.
I really liked it.
Yeah. I enjoyed my time with it. I think that like it was kind of weird when it got to like the supernatural powers and stuff. I thought that was very unexpected and strange.
Much like Mike's what he just did.
I wasn't going to address it.
Yeah, Cole's like, I have to address it.
It was very unexpected and strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Jay. I just couldn't let it go.
Never can.
But yeah, no, it was a fun show. And I'm looking forward to watching more of season 2 later. Mike really doesn't want to listen to me talk.
I'm listening.
Can't make up his mind. Are you gonna wear your toque or not?
No, I'm hot. I'm sweating.
What else are you watching, Jay?
I watched I've just been watching a lot of seasonal stuff as well. Like
tis the season for sure.
Tis the season. There's like a lot of good stuff this season. We'll get more into it.
Yeah. In a few weeks, we'll talk more about it.
In a few weeks,
yeah.
But a lot of like really really fun shows that I think you should check out.
Yeah. Did you check out the first episode of season 2 of My Happy Marriage?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. He said that, Mike. It must have been.
Oh, sorry. That must have been when I was sweating through my toque. Yeah.
You were going crazy.
Yeah.
Mike was losing it.
Yeah.
I'm digesting poutine here. It gets you hot in the.
It's the salt.
Yeah.
It's
You know
the
what
salt.
else?
Yeah.
You know what else
Little
gets
meat
you
sweats
hot?
here. What gets you hot, Jay? Tell me what gets you hot.
Whatever's on Cole's mind. What's
Well,
up with you,
gentlemen,
my guy?
Yeah.
Finally, ladies and gentlemen, what you've all been waiting for. What have I been up to? I've been playing a lot of guitar. A lot. I've got my calluses back, boys. It's nice.
Because you got that new Yamaha set up.
I got a new Yamaha guitar yesterday. Listen, just to go off on a little tangent, I have an acoustic guitar, and it's a Martin 000 X1A, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't touched it in literally years. So I texted my brother yesterday, and I'm like, "Hey, Cody, Bot, that's his full legal name. Would you miss this
Cody,
guitar?
last name Bot.
Yeah. Would you miss this guitar if I got rid of it?" He's like, "A little bit. I still record with it, but like it's yours." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna bring it into Long and McQuaid, which is like the big music. It's the Guitar Center of Canada, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see what they'll give me for it. Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. Do that. And then I'm gonna get this. I want to get a Yamaha Pacifica as a project guitar, so I'll upgrade it and everything as I move along. So I brought it in, and they gave me what I wanted for it. So I'm like, perfect. Let's order in Yamaha Pacifica. So we're going through colors, and the guy's like, "Yeah, no, these are really nice guitars. Like, yeah, like the one we've got here in the store." I'm like, "What? What did you say?"
Elaborate on that.
Yeah,
Thank
he's
you.
like, "Oh, yeah, like we've got a used model here."
Cole's like intensifying as he hears used. Okay.
So we walk up. I'm like, "Oh, like price perfect. Play it for a bit." I'm like, "Man, you just made my day." So it was basically a straight swap.
Silver.
Yeah. You don't see silver too often. It really reminds me of, if there's any guitar people out there, John Mayer went with PRS, and they did the Silver Sky. Yeah, it really reminds me of that.
When you posted the pic in our Discord, join our Discord, by the way, links in the description. Like I literally was like, "Oh my God, did Cole buy a Silver Sky?" And then I was like, "No, that's because it just like I just saw a silver guitar, and I'm like, and Cole's a huge John Mayer guy, so I was like, no way, Cole's
no,
fiending right now. Yeah,
I don't appreciate the Silver Sky. I think
really.
I mean, I'm sure that they're great guitars, and I'm sure that they play really well. Everybody who plays one says that they're like Fenders but better. But like, I'm such a Fender stan. I love my Strat. But anyway, back to this guitar. Yeah, I came in, walked away with it, straight trade, and yeah, here I am. So initially, I was set up to purchase a guitar from somebody on Kijiji, but now I've got all that money that I would have spent on the purchase that I can put towards new parts down the line, or other debt and stuff, which is probably more responsible. But
be a responsible move. Yeah.
But but I ordered some cheap upgrades, just cosmetic stuff. I got a chrome pickup cover for the humbucker on it. I got a new pick guard, got some black hardware. So I'll black pick guard and stuff.
Black makes sense with the silver. Like it's already silver, so you kind of want to, and you don't want to have it all chromed out. Yeah. The thing with chrome and like metallic stuff is you got to be a little reserved with it, or else it's just it's a little too much.
So I figured the black would balance it out.
Yeah, good choice.
So yeah, that's real excited about that. Loving playing again. And I've been listening to the Geddy Lee audiobook, or his Geddy Lee autobiography audiobook. I'm listening to that. I'm not reading it because I don't know how to read. And it's very good. It's quite good. Geddy Lee reads it himself. It's nice. It's good. It's very eye-opening. Interesting look into Rush's early days so far. So Neil Peart joining the band. So far, they just started recording Permanent Wave, so that was like late 70s. So for the Rush fans out there, I would highly recommend it. Even to you, Mike, I would recommend it. It is a very good audiobook.
I really do like biographies and autobiographies. Like I feel like the older I get, the more I appreciate nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not a huge Rush guy. I do appreciate them for being a massive influence and like huge Canadian icons. But
yeah,
I think I might listen to that one too. Yeah, just to get the insight into. You know.
I genuinely don't think you need to even just be a Rush fan. I think it's worth it.
If you like 70s, 80s rock, then yeah, it'd probably be a good insight for sure. Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough about us. Nobody cares about us and our thoughts.
Exactly.
Let's talk about what we think is the worst of the year. Let's get into the middies, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
For the middies, we're pretty loose and loosey goosey with it. It doesn't really matter if we double up on stuff because it's really not official. There's no voting here.
Yeah, no, this is just for fun.
Yeah.
This is just for stuff and giggles.
Stuff and stuff. Yeah. So I think we'll just go in traditional AniPro order. So Cole, Mike, Jay. We'll just run through them.
Yeah.
So let's formally begin. Everybody, serious faces on. Here we go.
Okay, hold on.
Ugh. That was horrifying. Let's
Smiles.
begin as we should with the worst OP of the season. And I went with, I'm sorry. Yeah. Worst OP of the year. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be tough when we record the middies next week. Worst
Weebies.
OP of the year. The Weebies next week. Yeah. I'm having a tough time.
Words.
Here.
Words.
Your brain's just not braining right now.
Yeah.
Words is hard. Worst OP of this
Year.
of the year for me was Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio. Not only was it bland and boring, but like the singing was out of key in it. It was yeah.
Was it sung by like the voice
the
actor or
Seiyu,
something?
which is totally fine. Seiyus are usually and voice actors in general are usually good vocalists because that's their trade.
Their voice is their skill, right?
They're basically idols, right? Like they do multiple things. They're like Disney Channel stars.
But the singing in it, maybe it wasn't out of tune, but like the tone of it was like the timbre,
just grating on you. Yeah.
It just didn't work, and it was always a skip, always, every time.
That's
OP
saying
starting,
something. Yeah.
Minute and 30 seconds forward. That would be my worst OP of the year. Michael, my friend.
Yes. I had to actually like think back because I'm not as infatuated with the OPs as you two are, so I had to like remember what the hell OPs are because I frequently skip them. I'm one of those people. Okay.
Yeah.
But when I looked through my list, I actually remembered how bad this one was. It's Dr. Elise, Royal Lady with the Lamp. You probably haven't watched that show, and for good reason. Don't watch the show. It was pretty bad. It's an interesting concept, just executed terribly. But the OP, just like I said, it's just executed terribly. Like it's just a kind of a boring song with just like, like when OPs just it'll just be like a stationary like character sliding across the screen. Yeah. And there's like not much else going on at all. Yeah, it was like if you put into ChatGPT, can you generate like an anime opening with these like PNGs? And then it's like, yeah, here you go. I got it. You got your image files. Okay, sweet. We got pictures of all the cast sliding across the screen to a very generic poppy song. And like the rest of the anime, it left me feeling very uninspired, and it was an easy skip for me as well. So it's my worst OP of the season. Jay. Of the year. Worst OP of the year. Jay?
You did it too.
You did it.
What is your worst OP of the year?
My worst OP of 2024 is from a show that started off good and then just kind of went downhill from the start. And that's Uzumaki's
There's a few that
OP.
can describe. Okay.
Okay.
It's just an
Spiral
unfurling
down,
spiral into the title card. Which like I get what you're trying to do, but I feel like there's so much more you can do with the source material that would be a really cool OP for Uzumaki, and just this seemed like the most base level idea that you can probably do for an OP. And then the song's just like creepy music number 5.
Yeah.
So
it really is. Yeah.
Like I don't know, it just man. It was so boring. Man. So lame.
Uzumaki. So much wasted potential there.
Yeah.
There was so much there, and it just couldn't do it. But you know what we can do?
What can we do?
What we choose to do? Move on to our next category, which would be most visually painful. So really what we're meaning is like what looked the worst this year.
What looked terrible.
Yeah.
There's a few really good choices here, I think.
I tried to keep my list to stuff that I watched specifically, and I didn't watch really anything that was horrible, but there was one specifically where I was expecting it to look really good, and then when it started, it was just not good, borderline bad, and that's Sengoku Yuko. Remember
Yeah.
that show?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember how hyped we all were for that.
Yeah,
Ew.
and then we watched it, and it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this ain't it. Great moments, but
Mhm.
like overall, the quality of it was just very bad.
And I feel very
Yeah.
bad for the mangaka because like every time someone talks about the manga, they'll be like sing its praises. Oh, it's like one of the best manga out there, or like this mangaka's like a legendary author and has just the most legendary works. And then you watch the anime, and for most of them, like Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer was also done by this guy as well. And they're both just like so underwhelming.
Just atrocious. Not even underwhelming, like offensive to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sengoku Yoku was just underwhelming, I would say. But
Yeah.
you said Biscuit Hammer, and that show, just hearing that name makes me upset because it was so incredibly lackluster.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And,
And
I heard so much hype about it.
Mikey angry, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My most visually painful show of the year is a show we just talked about very recently. Uzumaki is the clear front runner here for me because while it started off okay, it just seems like production issues cause it to like spiral into hell basically because it just
He did it.
I said the thing. It just
did it, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't literally every part of that show by the end looked bad. Like the characters move woodenly, like they don't behave like a normal person should. It's CG. You should be able to move like it's a model. Like it's not like you have to draw it. Like how are you doing this so poorly?
There's one scene where a character falls down a pit, and I saw that clip, and it literally made me laugh out loud.
You could put it to like a slide whistle, and it would be like
they
really
just
funny.
took a still of the character and just like literally like just
drag
him.
just drug it. Yeah.
Like no movement on the character at all. Just
Mhm.
Yeah. It was like literally they just gave up by the end of it and just didn't. They're like, we just got to get to the end. We don't care what slop we're putting out. And frankly, it was visually painful for me. And yes.
Very
That's
fair.
why.
I think it was visually painful for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And speaking of a show that's visually painful for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
my pick would be Blue Lock season 2. I mean,
Ooh.
or rather PNG Lock season 2.
Yeah.
Hey, there it is. He did it, ladies and gentlemen.
It's fair. It's a fair. Yeah.
This show was season 1 was pretty good. Like it had pretty solid animation, a compelling story, a neat twist on the sports anime trope subgenre, I guess. And you know, it became the #1 best-selling manga in the world of the year that first season came out, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it seems like worth it, honestly. And frankly, like part of why this one's visually painful for me too is because like you can tell the source material shines through the lackluster production of it. Because like you can tell like if this was just given like a higher budget or just like more effort put into it, it would just be incredible.
I've heard a defense that like they wanted to keep the characters on model and make them look like as close to the manga as possible.
Yeah.
Copium.
I could see that, but you know, like sometimes you got to just let it go.
But,
I
like,
mean,
then I think about Kaiju #8, right? Where like people complained to no end that the characters didn't look exactly like the anime or like the manga did, but the show looks gorgeous.
Can't make everyone happy, that's for sure.
But that's like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like there are people who will complain that things go off model, and there are people who complain that things don't move. You can't have both. You can't have them on model all the time and them being very fluid.
But the point I'm trying to make is like, if you keep things on model too much, and this is an example of that, it's going to be harder to animate because of all the detail that you have to worry about.
Yeah. Well, and the fluidity. Like, I mean, you always see those in between frames of The Simpsons. You always see in between frames of like old Bugs Bunny cartoons. Yeah. And those are off model. And even in anime, Konosuba is masterful of going off model and not being concerned about it. And those look better than something that is religiously on model.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just, yeah. I think people have to let go of this on model thing. As long as the characters have the essence of the character.
Yeah.
I'm okay
as
with
long
it.
as it maintains the spirit of what the author was trying to do when they created it, who cares? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And frankly, I can hear that one huge Blue Lock fan screaming right now. The last episode does look incredible, but other than that, the rest you agree the rest of the show looks
and
terrible.
at the same time, Uzumaki's first episode also looked really good, right?
Yeah.
But if you're gonna say that a whole show looks great because of one episode,
yeah, exactly.
And I mean, if this manga was the best-selling manga in the year the first season came out, then there's no excuse for the season to look bad. I don't care. There's no excuse.
If they wanted to, they would. If they wanted to, they would.
Yeah, it's just a cash grab. That's all that it is.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but that's like they wanted to animate it for as cheap as possible and get as many eyes on it as possible.
Yeah.
It was very clearly a go read the manga.
Apparently.
Yes. Yeah, go read the manga. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
It's probably better.
Honestly, I still enjoyed Blue Lock season 2, but that's your gripe is very valid.
Yeah. I'm just being controversial for controversy's sake. Let's move on though. Worst girl of the season. This needs no explanation. Who is the worst girl for you this year? I feel
like there's lots of ways you could take this one too.
Yeah.
You could take the worst to go.
Yeah.
And I'm curious where you guys have went with it.
For me, it was the girl. I really like the show. I really like all the other characters in it, but this girl to me was just so unlikable, but in a fun way.
Okay.
I'm going with Azusa Shiratori, who is the ice skating girl from Ranma 1/2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
She seems insufferable, but like the comedy of it works well. Like she's how she's like playfully punching her partner, and then it slowly turns into her like just like beating him up.
Nice alliteration, Nicole.
Oh,
playfully
thank
punching
you.
her partner.
Don't worry, he didn't
even
know.
pick up
he didn't
on
know.
it.
Now
he didn't even know.
I totally did at the
Cole's
time.
just a
You were a
genius.
poet. You're a poet, and you didn't even know it.
Exactly. Whoa, bars. Yeah, I didn't hate her because the show is so charming and she's charmingly unlikable, but she is inarguably for me the worst. Like I would hate being in the same room as her.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the point, and I think that I get what you're coming at for this one.
And her
I'm
like
picking up what you're
claiming
putting down.
everything and making names for everything. It's like, no, that's my thing. And it's like you just literally just seen it for the first time in your life.
It just now to you came into existence.
And then she'll call
this
it
is
like,
mine now.
This is mine.
Yeah,
now. I
she'll
claimed it.
name it like Pierre or something
Yeah.
like that, and it's like, but Pierre, and it's like, what are you talking
No,
about?
that's
And
my-
it's like
that's
a
my dog,
random
Kylo.
inanimate object.
Yeah. Or a pig, or
a pig.
Mike's dog.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mike,
Hi, I'm here.
who's your worst girl?
I'm gonna get a little controversial right here, if you guys don't
like it.
mind.
Do
I'm a
it.
little-
Do it. Do
I'm a little
it.
crazy.
You don't know
never know
what
what I'm
he's
gonna
gonna do next.
Yeah. Nokotan was the worst girl of the year for me.
Wow.
No,
You had that
JK,
one
that's
queued up.
totally valid.
Honestly,
I totally
very
thought about
valid.
putting her. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad that you guys also agree with me, because it was a very popular show and there was a lot of hype about Nokotan. But frankly, she kind of wrecks that show
She
a
was
little
annoying.
bit. Actually, she was so
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
thank you.
I
feel
like
like
the
I was-
other girls
Yeah.
in that
Yes,
show.
I agree.
Genuinely.
Everybody else in that show was good.
Yeah. Honestly, Mike,
Nokotan is
this
too
probably
well-known,
she probably would have been my runner-up. There was just one character that like bugged me a bit more, but
Zesty.
Yeah.
you're so right with your opinion.
Like I feel like I would have liked that show
if she wasn't in it,
if Nokotan wasn't so damn annoying.
she had
you know?
one good joke, and it was her introduction,
Yeah.
and then everything
Yeah.
else was
Pretty
just
well.
kind of annoying.
Like if she
And,
wasn't
like-
so, I think part of it's she's so dumb that she like
Yeah.
doesn't participate in the jokes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. What were you gonna say, Cole? You had
Oh,
you looked
no,
like you had a
that-
thought bubbling up there.
No, it's gone.
Oh,
The thought
okay.
is
Yeah.
burst.
But
I'm bubbled and then burst.
Yeah. I'm glad though that like I found some kindred spirits in me with this one, because it didn't sit right with me a little bit that like this show is so popular, but I just didn't like her at all. She worst girl of the year for me. Worst girl of the year for me. Jay,
no, totally.
who
valid.
tops that? Who tops these two unlikable?
I feel like
heroines?
this is a bit more of a meta pick because like this character was put in this show just to get people to watch the show. Or rather put in this season to get people to watch the show. And that's Hye-In Cha from Soul Leveling.
Oh.
In the story, she wasn't supposed to be introduced yet, but like she's a very popular character, so they put her in the show to, I guess, to get people to watch it. She's
Mike. Quick, who is this? Did I see her in the first episode?
The blonde? Is she the blonde girl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I only know I'm anime only for Soul Leveling, so I don't know. I know the blonde girl. People were saying like she's been in. They've just like literally shown her.
Yeah.
In the season,
and like she is a popular character in the show, and also a.
So do you dislike this character, or are you more upset about the usage of this character?
I'm more upset about the usage of the character.
Okay.
Interesting way to take this one.
Because like, yeah, the only reason she exists in this season is to get people to be like, oh, there she is. And
that's my girl. That's my girl.
That's my
wife. Nice. We did it.
Meta, double meta there. Meta pick.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. No, solid pick. I appreciate where you're coming from with that one.
Fan service has its place. Sometimes it's bad though. Sometimes it's bad, and that's a bad.
It takes you out of it. I think.
Yeah,
I think in this situation, it's like, hold on a second, like she's not in the manga or the manhwa or whatever, whatever Solo Leveling is. She's not supposed to be here, and that takes you out of it, right? Because you're thinking like, you're not thinking about the story at that point. You're thinking about how it differs.
But when you go like a level deeper, it even is weirder because the only people that will know that she's not supposed to be there are the true fans of the source material. But they're also going to know that she's going to know that she's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only people who care are the ones like I watched it. I don't care.
Exactly. I don't care. Yeah. There's some girl on the street who looks, whatever.
At least if she were to have done something, right, then whatever.
Yeah.
But she doesn't do anything.
No.
Yeah. She's literally just there.
Yeah.
She's just there to be seen.
She's not supposed to be there. She can't do anything, or else she'll
the plot
mess up the content.
Apart.
Yeah, you'll mess up all the threads.
Yeah. Let's move on though to worst boy of the year, and this one is controversial. I'm probably gonna get some hate mail for this one.
Do it.
Good. Well,
my
overdue.
worst boy of the year is Jin and Joji from Dawn to Dawn. He is Momo's like old friend. I never liked him in the manga. I don't like his shtick of being a goofball. I have no time for those shenanigans. And also I don't like how he's getting in the middle of Momo and Okarun.
Yeah, how dare he?
How dare he?
How dare he?
They're perfect together, and he needs to get gone.
And be together already.
They already.
I mean, honestly, one of the best romantic things in manga is those few panels of like them like having their hands touching, and slowly like their hands are getting. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute.
Yeah, Dawn to Dawn's real cute. The reason I didn't recognize it right away is it usually goes by Gigi Cole.
Yeah.
Gigi.
Well, I went with his legal name.
Yeah, you wanted to call out it. Yeah, with his government name. Yeah. I agree though. I don't know. I'm on your side on this one. I don't really like Gigi either. I feel like even like the stuff that you're going to learn in the next season of Dawn to Dawn is not very good. Like his powers aren't very good, and he's just not a very likable character. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. I like him more like now, in like as
like in the manga,
caught up on the manga. But from where you're at, Cole, I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. No, don't like him.
Good pick.
In this
Good pick.
iteration. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mike, who's your worst boy? Don't say, do not. If anybody says any one of us, I'm going to drive over to your house and I'm going to beat you up. The listeners can say us.
My worst boy is Cole.
Yeah.
For being mean to me. Beating me up all the time.
For wanting to beat me up, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, I actually went with Arajin Tomoshibi, the Buchigiri main boy, the main guy from Buchigiri. I don't know what it was. First of all, Buchigiri offended me by being. I was excited for it because I was still all
By
hyped.
being.
Yeah, by being what it was. It just was frankly incredibly mid. It was a very, very mid anime. And the and part of that is because the protagonist, Arajin here, is just so boring and unlikable. Like I don't know what it is about him. He has like nothing that really makes you want to root for him. Like all he wants to do is basically get laid. That's his whole thing. And I was just like, I just don't care about you. You're just boring. You're lame. Your hair, it's whack. Your attitude, it's whack. It's just, I don't know. I didn't like him at all. And frankly, see you later. Get out of here. Get out of here,
Get out of
Arajin.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
nobody
gone.
likes you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent pick, Mike.
Yeah. I had to go a little bit deeper for this one because like there weren't any boys that like I was like, ugh, I really hate this guy.
Yeah, Jay was like, "There's boys in anime."
no, it's more
only
just
see
like most
waifus.
of the guys that I remembered from this year. I was like, they're not that bad.
Yeah, there's more good characters than bad for
yeah,
sure.
but there was one show that I never really talked about this season or this past season that came out this past fall. And yeah, he's just the worst. So my pick for this year's worst boy is Noel Stalin from The Most Notorious Talker, blah 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 blah, whatever the frick it's called.
Most Notorious Talker is how I'd abbreviate it.
Yeah. Yeah, when you introduce your main character by selling off his former party members to be slaves, I don't know, man.
Not a good start.
Not a great start. And I get that, like, maybe they betrayed him or whatever, but, like, two wrongs don't make a right. And he's just edgy and insufferable, and yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know who the hell this guy is, but he sounds terrible.
Yeah, sounds like a real bad bloke.
Yeah.
Bad bloke.
Bad gent.
The hell is wrong with me? I've never said bloke in my life.
Well, you just did.
I'm in a weird...
You're deserving of bodily harm, Cole.
I'm in a weird headspace right now. Yeah, next up, who's most deserving of bodily harm? So essentially the antithesis to must protect.
Mm-hmm.
And I went with one because it seems like she'd be into it. I went with Utena Hiragi from Gushing Over Magical Girls.
Nice.
So yeah. Yeah.
Probably would be,
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah.
Probably would be. Yeah.
I needs no more explanation than what I just gave.
I think I fully understand the picture. I haven't seen the show, but I fully understand what you're going for.
Yeah. Mike, who do you wish to harm?
See, I went a different route. This one's more, I want to harm this person. And it's their name is Alderp Alexei Barnes.
First of all, Alderp.
Great.
Lame name.
Terrible name. Horrible name. Yeah. Name of someone who deserves bodily harm. And frankly, they're from Konosuba season 3. They're the lord who like is trying to marry darkness.
Oh,
with the blonde hair.
Okay.
He's the lord of the blonde curly hair. That guy is the worst. And frankly, he does get bodily harmed, but like, he is the worst. He sucks. He deserves everything bad that happens to him. And great antagonist for that reason. But yeah, he deserves much bodily harm for harming my lovable cast of idiots.
Well done, Mike.
Well done,
Jay.
Yes, thank you.
You did it.
How are you going to top this?
My most deserving of bodily harm goes to a character that, for a lot of people, ruined the show that he's from.
Okay.
And I understand why, and that's Kyoichiro Yozakura from Mission Yozakura Family. The big brother guy.
Yep.
Just being a huge siscon. I remember creeping a lot of people out.
He kind of ruined the show, actually. He kind of did a little bit.
And you know, I think like his actions towards toward our boy Tayo made me really want to give him a big old punch in the face. So
Big old kiss on the mouth with one of these.
Big old kiss on the lips with your lips.
Sucker
you love
punch. Him. Yeah, exactly. No, he was insufferable. I didn't like him at all. Yeah. So good pick, Jay. Yeah.
Well done. Yeah. Man, we're big haters, but we love to hate on stuff.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Let's keep this hate train rolling with worst chemistry this year. Now I went with one. I just found them so insufferable.
Oh no.
What has our boy done?
Okay, I'm going
the
with
edgy boy's about to do the thing.
Taiki and Chinatsu.
What?
From Blue Box, I just couldn't stand them, No, I had a tough time picking this one. I just went with one that I knew would annoy Jay.
No, Cole's just purposefully picking fights at this point.
Cole's earning that worst boy, and he's maybe earning the most deserving of bodily harm.
This is true.
You know what? No, I'm not explaining anymore. That is genuinely my pick.
You're a bad boy. You're a bad boy.
I'm a bad boy. Look at me. Okay. I got my shirts open.
Well, Momo and
hey, go ahead.
Coming up next.
Okay, Holo and Lawrence. Yeah.
That's bad, Mike.
I know that's a bad take. Don't worry. I'm just trying to hurt you.
I can't
okay, worst chemistry for me.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about one show that's adapted from a Korean manhwa in Solo Leveling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going for the other one that was adapted from a Korean manhwa this year, and that's Tower of God season 2. And I'm going with the main guy who, is it spoilers to say he's bomb, even though it's incredibly obvious that he's bomb? I don't know.
I think everybody knows.
Everybody knows, right? He goes by a different name. I couldn't figure out what the hell his name is.
I feel like it only makes sense that he's the same guy as the main character. If he's the main character,
he is the main character.
yeah, exactly. He looks just like him, and it's just and he has long hair now. He has long hair, and he wears goth clothes now. Oh, who would have thought he's the same guy? Anyway,
wait, that guy's the same character. I'll give them this. At least they did the same thing in Tokyo Ghoul Re, which is actually good, but Tokyo Ghoul Re actually made it more interesting.
Yeah, because he didn't really. Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul Re is low-key better than Tokyo Ghoul, by the way.
I had a joke about Bon listening to AFI now, about him being in a scene phase.
He actually those are all good jokes, Cole. They still fly. But the worst chemistry is frankly him and everyone. But I went with him and Ja Wong-nan, who's he's the blonde guy in the second season here. And I feel like they're supposed to be set up, they're on the poster together. They're supposed to be this dynamic duo, but they don't get along at all. They're not even, the chemistry's terrible. I don't understand why I'm supposed to be rooting for these two. They're not a team at all. Bomb tries to kill him many times, and it's just what? This doesn't work at all. This is terrible. And they're
sounds
my worst.
Bad chemistry.
It's bad chemistry. And before I get too riled up, I'm going to move on to Jay. Jay, who is terrible chemistry for you this year?
My worst chemistry comes from a show that I feel like both Cole and I were looking forward to, and it kind of hinged on how this character dealt or was romantically with the male lead. And that's Nina and the prince. What's his name? Azure Seth Fortuna from Nina the Starry Bride.
Yeah, it's kind of lame.
I don't really care about their romance whatsoever. And that's probably one of the biggest parts of the show.
That's probably the point, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole point of that show.
It just kind of fell flat on its face and never got back up.
I kind of get that. I almost went with the one from what's the other show that's like that one from this year?
Well, I'll give you a second to think about that, Mike, and I'll just say I almost honestly went with that pick too, Jay.
And
I probably should have, genuine,
because then you at least watch the show and know.
And I'm not just picking somebody to make you guys mad at me. But I stopped watching Nina and the Starry Bride when the romance started budding, because I was oh, okay, we're just doing the generic thing.
Yeah, we're having a romance because we need to have a romance. We're having a romance because there's a romance anime.
That would be the reason why to put it on here. Like it's what got you to drop
yeah,
the
no,
show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I dropped the show because of their chemistry.
Yeah.
Which I thought was lame. And yeah, no, Jay, I almost went with that too. Mike, did you find your
I thought of the second you started telling me to take a moment, I remembered it. 7 Time Loop. I almost went with the main couple from 7 Time Loop because I just didn't find them compelling at all either.
Yeah.
I found Riche very compelling on her own, but other than that, Yep.
Overrated anime. So what was the anime nobody would shut up about, but you were just like, meh, this was meh. And I'm sorry, Mike, you're going to hate me for this one, but honestly, I got through half of the show and I thought I was having a good time, and then it just kind of changed and I wasn't into it as much, and I went with Delicious and Dungeon. I'm sorry. This is a genuine answer from me.
Yeah,
I really liked the first half of the show. It was comedic, and it was kind of like meta in how it was like, oh, this is a cooking show, but you could never make because the dishes are made out of things that don't exist. And then it kind of just turns into a generic fantasy kind of, and I don't know. It lost me.
Yeah.
To be honest.
That's
That's
fair.
valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a backup answer though, but I think one of you guys may take it. So, Mike, go ahead.
I had a couple in mind for this, and maybe I'm thinking now that I chose the wrong one, but I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
For me, the most overrated show of the season was Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy Season 2. I feel like people were talking real high on this, but frankly, as I was watching it, I was just like, I have not been entertained for 1 minute since watching. I watched Season 1, and I was like, okay, maybe it gets real good in Season 2. No, it's the same.
Yeah. It's doing the Russell Crowe. Are you not entertained? And you're like, no,
I'm actually not. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the whole thing with him not being able to speak, it's not a good, I get what you're trying to do. It's not a good trope because then it just makes it hard to like relate and
it also
care.
just like I watched a little bit of Season 1, and that whole thing of like, oh, he can't communicate, it felt like a problem that was going to get resolved eventually. So like, why should I care?
Nope. It just doesn't. He just talks through his mind and all. It's just so mid. It's just so incredibly mid, and I don't know why people like it so much. Yeah. Jay, what's your
I mean,
overrated?
this is the big haterade.
I feel like this is the one that Cole was talking about with his runner-up, because he watched it in our watch party for episode 1, and he didn't get into it, and that's Soul Leveling.
Oh, no, this wasn't it. But this is honestly, Jay, you probably just gave my answer. I was so underwhelmed by it. I forgot it existed. And we've talked about it today.
Yeah, we did talk about it today. But like, look, man, I get that the fights in Soul Leveling are cool. I get it.
Yeah.
You need more than cool fights to be a good show.
No, I don't.
No. Just give me 22 minutes of action.
Cool fights.
Just give me out of context fight scenes that I can find on YouTube. I'm good.
I'm cool with that.
Well,
brother.
no, that's just it. Yeah, just look up coolest fights.
Yeah,
like, you'll get the same out of it.
You'll find some from Soul Leveling.
But you'll
probably sure.
Sung Jin Woo has motivations that come and go as the plot needs.
What did you say the other week? His mom exists when the plot needs her to exist, or something like that.
His
or
mom,
she's sick when she needs to be.
His mom's sick until she isn't.
Yeah,
like
that's usually how it works.
Yeah, like there's this whole thing about how he wants to cure his mom, but like sometimes he doesn't need to do that because there's other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Like I wish I was on the other side of that, where like I was super hyped for more. But man, Soul Leveling is just so overrated.
I mean, we all wish we were on the other side of everything, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody likes when something's not good.
Yeah, I like when things are good.
I like it. Like I want to watch good things.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jay, I did enjoy Solo Leveling, unlike you two, but I kind of agree with you. Like I'm literally on AniList right now, and it's the #1 most popular show from last season.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
Like
it's good.
On Mal,
it's not that good.
On Mal, it's currently sitting at an 8.81, which like
that's absurd.
That's
that's insane.
That's very
or
high.
season 2 is,
Yeah.
I should say.
Oh, season 2 is. Oh, okay. Well, there's only one episode out. Those are people who are rating things like 10 off the first episode.
But like,
Just a strong first episode too.
Yeah, no, Jay, you kind of you made me remember my actual answer. But no, the one I was alluding to, which I didn't end up going with because I think most people have kind of turned on it, was Nokotan.
I thought about Nokotan too, but
like I think the consensus now is like kind of it kind of was meh,
kind of flopped.
Yeah,
kind of flopped. So that's why I didn't end up going with that, and I went with the controversial pick.
Yeah, it's more fun. We're zesty here. This doesn't count. It's zesty.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. So now we're going with Middest Anime, and just to be clear, Middest in this sense is the worst anime of the year.
Worst 2024 anime.
Yeah. I went with one I remember being so excited about, and then we completely forgot it existed after it ended. And I remember I got through probably 3 episodes of it, and then I just never got back to it. I didn't drop it. I just had no interest in continuing.
The old soft drop, yeah.
Yeah, and that is Metallic Rouge. What a big old poopy.
Let me delete that from my when I had two. I had two and you picked one of them. No, I have
overlap on this one.
I have a second one. But yes, just know in spirit I'm with you on this one, Cole.
Yeah, Metallic Rouge was just so, I don't know what it was. Like everything, all of the parts there seemed cool, but it just didn't execute. And I don't know, maybe it was the pacing. I should do this should be like my first YouTube video. It's
like analyzing why it flopped.
What didn't work? I can't quite put my finger on it. And I need to
I'll tell you, it was once it turned into a tokusatsu or whatever, Power Rangers.
Well, I was fine. I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that if that's what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just it was cringe. It was kind of lame. It looked pretty.
It thought it was so much smarter than it was too, was part of the thing that it was just overwhelmed you with a bit of techno babble and just ended up boring you.
Yeah. It was sci-fi done poorly because sci-fi can be can look down its nose at you and can have the techno babble, and that worked sometimes, but it didn't with this.
It also just had way too much exposition for concepts that it didn't even start explaining to you yet. So you're just kind of left wait, what's going on?
At a certain point, it just races past you, and then you just eventually you're like, oh, it's way over. I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, show me something, and then make me question it, and then maybe give me the exposition rather than reversing it. Exposition before something I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to teach me how this works, but it's just very clunky.
But if it's so convoluted, then you have to show me and then tell me.
Yeah. Get me interested, and it didn't. It didn't get me interested. I am interested in what Mike's other pick for Middest of the year was.
My second pick, I sort of had 3, but I had a feeling one of you might take my third. But I'll see if Jay does. My actual pick's going to be Uzumaki as the worst anime of the year, the Middest anime of the year, because it was just dog water, guys. It was real rough. It was real rough, and my boy Junji Ito just apparently makes unadaptable works. I don't know what it is.
And I don't know why. Know why.
Junji Ito stuff and Berserk are unadaptable, apparently.
But it's possible. That first episode was good.
The first episode was good. It
was just such a huge fumble.
The design of the show was cool. Like the idea that they did it all in black and white. I thought that was
CG
really interesting.
too is kind of a cool move. Yeah. And I think part of the reason why I ended up going with this one is truly the anger I get, because as you two are well aware, there's nothing worse than having your hopes raised
only to
and then on.
Yeah.
And that's what happened here. It's I got excited. I'm like, are they going to do it? Is this going to happen? And then it just fumbled epically on the goal line, and the other team got a touchdown. And it was like, no.
No, it was interesting too. The trailers going in, we're like, okay, looks good. Episode 1 comes out. We're like, okay, looks good.
All right.
Episode 2 and 3 happens, and we're like, okay, this was really bad, but episode 4 is supposed to go back to the other studios, so episode 4 is going to be good. And then what happened when episode 4 came out? Mike?
Got worse.
Yeah. No, nothing. There was one.
That's 25%.
Good episode.
Yeah.
And the rest of them weren't even like the rest of them were unairable, to be honest. Like they should not, that was not television quality. Those should not have been put on TV.
And look, the thing that frustrates me more is that they put it out after like a long ass hiatus or like a long ass time in production hell.
Yeah.
I get like if they were being rushed to put it out, whatever. But like if it's already after like so many times of delays and delays and delays, just delay it again.
Why not another one? Why not?
Yeah.
Anyway, Jake, let your vitriol out. Let's hear your Middest Anime of the year.
My pick for Middest Anime was Metallic Rouge.
We all united on that.
It was a bad show.
Aligned with Cole. This was Cole's first draft pick for winter 2024.
Okay. I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Which like goes to show just how excited he was for it. And I was right there with him, because if he hadn't drafted it first, I probably would have. And like, I remember going to the watch party being like, okay. And then episode 2 came out and I was like, no, okay, I'm done.
Or are we talking about Metallic Rouge still?
Metallic Rouge, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were setting up your...
No.
Yeah.
Metallic Rouge.
Okay.
Okay.
I was like, this is a long setup.
But if I can't go with that one, if we're gonna set that precedent,
yeah, go for another one.
I'm gonna go with one that I also drafted, and looked so cool, but didn't go anywhere. Mysterious Disappearances.
Oh yeah, that was a disappointment. That was quite mid.
So interesting. Had like from the trailers looked like so. Cole, you were talking about this with Grisaya, like very Shaft-like. And I kind of got those Shaft vibes with this show when I watched the trailers. And then episode 1 came out. And it was
then you just got shafted.
Very mid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just as an aside, I watched the Grisaya so far has been the only show that I've like stopped midway through the show. Just as an aside.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Mysterious Disappearances, that mysteriously disappeared from my consciousness. I completely forgot that came out.
That's a sign of a truly mid show, is when it like literally you're like, I totally forgot that existed.
Yep. I think the only appeal that people had and that people saw in the show was that the main character had was quite buxom.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I remember that being
that'll
like,
carry a show. You can watch it.
Yeah,
but not this.
Yeah,
one
but
in this
like
case.
not this one. No.
If you're gonna do that, at least like be a little sexy, but like it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like they were just there.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, sure, that's real life, but we watch anime because it's fantasy, and you're already making a fantasy show essentially.
Yeah.
Whatever. Why am I trying? Why am I doing this?
Anyway,
what am I doing?
We're all riled up. I think we should probably get out of here before we get too crazy.
Yeah. We've got a big review coming up after the break. We're going to be reviewing Vampeerz. Also, let us know your answer to all the questions. I'll just quickly run through them. Worst OP, most visually painful, worst girl, worst boy, most deserving of bodily harm, worst chemistry, overrated, and the Middest Anime of the year. Let us know in the comments or at our Discord, which you can join in the description. Let's go to
break.
The listeners here,
they want to know
breakfast
for
plans.
breakfast. Yeah,
They need to
Welcome back.
For breakfast.
Yeah, welcome back to AniPro. Let us know your thoughts on breakfast. Are you like me? I think breakfast is the best meal of, like, I love breakfast food.
No,
Because breakfast food is so you can have breakfast for supper, you know? but it's weird to have supper for breakfast. It's possible. I'm not saying that
I do it often, actually. I do it. I've become, in my old age, I've tried to become like mealtime agnostic. Like I'll have whatever whenever.
Yeah.
But I get weird looks when I'm eating spaghetti for breakfast.
Yeah, but like if you have like bacon and eggs and hash browns for supper, like people are like, oh yeah, good move.
Yeah. Hey,
people like give you compliments for that.
It's true. It's true though. People call you weird for having spaghetti for breakfast.
I think that makes supper cooler though, because then like you're like it's
you can have
just,
anything for supper.
It's malleable, right? You can have literally anything.
I should rephrase. I think breakfast food is the best food. I just love bacon, eggs, hash browns. I love it.
It is really good. And frankly, like the cheap part of me says like, why am I going out to a restaurant to pay for these foods to be prepared for me? But it just hits better.
It hits better. And I like the social aspect of like going out, you're doing something. It hits. It hit.
Yeah.
What were you talking about before, Mike? Remember a while ago? It's the move. It's the move.
It could be the move. Breakfast with buddies at a diner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yep.
It's nice. Anyway,
podcast stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, podcast.
Hey,
Let us know. What do you like for your breakfast at a diner? Tell us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At a diner.
What's your order?
At a diner. What's your order at a diner for breakfast? Yeah. Bacon, eggs, ham?
Over easy
Sausage?
eggs? Scramble?
What kind of eggs do you like?
Yeah.
Those? You like those kind of eggs?
Cubed, shredded, whole wheat,
Ooh.
rye, white. Where are you going? Where are you going with that?
Brown?
What's your favorite potato?
Russet.
Red.
No. I mean, like what? Like
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah. No, yeah. My whenever we'd go on road trips with my dad, he would just randomly say like favorite pie, and that was a very like, what's your favorite potato dish? Yeah. And then he's like pizza pie.
Honestly, shredded are underrated for the diner breakfast, but shredded at home is not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. You need the griddle. You need that
You need the grill.
big griddle top. Yeah.
Yeah. Not Pomp of the Cinephile.
that was last week.
Vampeerz. Yeah.
Vampeerz. We're talking about vampires in love.
So they're not peers.
It's like Twilight, but with girls. It's a Yuri manga. Vampeerz.
Yeah.
What is it? What is Vampeerz? It's my duty to explain to you, the listener, what
it truly
Vampeerz
is.
is.
Yeah.
Vampeerz is it's a love story, I guess. Comedy, supernatural, romance. These are literally the genres listed on AniList. Comedy, romance, supernatural. As far as tags go, we've got the first one is age gap, which it's always problematic with this stuff, but it's a vampire story. It has to happen. Yeah.
One of her heroines is essentially like one of the typical trope of like the 1,000-year-old lolly is the main love interest.
Yeah, and then the other one is 14. I think they say she's 14.
15.
Yeah.
I think.
15. Other tags: Yuri, vampire, female protagonist. Blah blah blah. You know the drill. So basically, our main character Ichika, we're introduced to her at her grandmother's funeral. Her grandmother passed away, and she's got relatives and stuff all over. And she is she sees this girl named Arya. She's described as a blonde foreigner, which I always find funny. And she's instantly smitten by her. So basically, it's as the story moves on, Arya is revealed to be a vampire. She doesn't like being called a vampire, which we'll talk about later. And the story is basically just Arya wants Ichika to kill her because she's been alive for so long. She's just kind of over it. And Ichika doesn't want to because she's in love with Arya, and vampire stuff. Vampires show up. The vampires.
Yeah.
Vampires?
It kind of reminded me a little bit of that whole like trope of like where vampires have that allure to them and you kind of fall in love at first sight. I feel like that was what it was kind of going for, because she like literally sees this girl and then is instantly like, I would die for you. Like you're the best thing on earth.
But it's I can't.
But because she's a vampire, makes a bit more sense.
But it's the rosy-eyed love at first sight.
Yeah.
Trope that you see everywhere.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, it's Yuri manga. It's girls, you know,
It's the classic story of girl meets girl.
Girl meet girl.
Yes,
one girl
very-
vampire, other girl not vampire.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's kind of like very generic descriptor. How
Yeah.
you would
I
say.
think you did a
Would you
good
guys
job,
add
actually.
anything to my excellent synopsis of this? Would you guys add anything to that, or?
Yeah, I would just say like this manga, its initial, like when you pick up the book
Mhm.
and you look at it, it's like, oh, that's a very like edgy looking cover. It's very bright red. It just looks very like it's going to be like a dark and edgy, very Twilight-y type story. It is not that. It is it leans into the comedy quite a bit. It is quite honestly it yeah, go ahead, Jay.
It has a lot more slice of life in it than I expected.
Yes. That's what I was just going to say. Is that it's very slice of life. It's more slice of life than it is a dark vampire love story than anything, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I would probably pitch it.
Okay. Yeah. What about like comparisons, recommendations? So you guys have been told, read this. What would you immediately kind of after reading this, what would you immediately recommend to somebody else?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What would you recommend, Cole?
I mean, like, of course.
You're kind of the Yuri guy, so I'm kind of leaning on you here.
I mean, immediately you would think like Bloom Into You. But Bloom Into You is, I hate to say it, Bloom Into You is like the pinnacle for me of this type of story. Like it's just very, very good. And this doesn't quite meet that. I'm looking at the list of stuff. Like I've only read a handful of stuff like this. You know what I would say? Call of the Night. I'm going to go as a dark horse with this. Like thematically, you know, it's vampire. Yeah. It's a vampire love story. Yeah. And you're kind of introduced to this like background of vampires. Of course, Call of the Night is a heterosexual boy-girl thing. But like the vibes are similar, kind of.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Similar enough, I would say.
Yeah. That would be my personal recommendation, and I don't immediately see it on this list.
I think where I would probably go, and it feels weird because it's kind of the opposite of this in the fact that it's kind of boys lovey, but it's also. I would go with our manga that we reviewed previously, The Summer Hikaru Died. Actually,
that's
I felt
the one that came to mind when I was.
It kind of has the similar vibes, except that Summer Hikaru Died is a little more of what I thought this was going to be, where it's a little more dark and a little more edgy. Yeah. And it didn't lean so much into the comedy aspects of stuff. That's probably where I would recommend people to either go from or go to from here.
Yeah. No, that's a very good recommendation, actually. Yeah. Mike, Jay, do you have any other ones?
Mine was the summer Hikaru Died.
Well, I spoke first, so
now you have to
little
scramble.
bit unfair.
You don't have to.
I'll throw to you first next time, Jay.
Yeah.
But the Summer Hikaru Died probably would have been like, or it is probably like the closest thing that I could have thought
Twilight. Just say Twilight.
I mean Twilight.
I mean, if you do like Twilight, you probably would like this.
You know what? Yeah, as a joke, like if you were like I don't know, a little kid who liked Twilight, maybe give this a shot. Maybe
you like vampires.
It does have its like very steamy moments to it.
Yeah,
like
it does.
It is unironically kind of similar to. If you like Twilight, it's honestly I could think it's actually not that bad of a comparison.
Twilight is painfully unfunny.
Yes.
Like it's funny in like an ironic way.
Yeah.
This I find the humor in this is pretty decent, I think.
Yeah.
Like
I thought so too, actually.
I thought it didn't take you out. Like everything felt genuine. Like most of the jokes were kind of characters' internal thoughts and like their derpy faces and stuff like that. Like I thought it worked out pretty well.
I would say the humor definitely worked. Like I felt like, first of all, it's rare for me to actually have like a, while I'm reading it, laugh out loud moment. And I had several in just these 14 chapters. So that's saying something, honestly, that the humor actually is probably, for me, maybe the best part of the manga, honestly.
Yeah. I would echo that. Yeah.
I think that like for me, I totally get it because humor is also subjective. So like
Of course.
saying that, the humor landed, it didn't land for me, but like again, it's subjective, so whatever.
Humor's hard. Humor's hard, especially
Yeah.
because it's so tailored based on the person, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to like attack you, Jay. Like there's 3 of us on the podcast. We each have our own things. I'm just wondering what didn't work for you, if you could articulate that. Yeah.
It just didn't tickle that funny bone. Like I
Just didn't tickle your Jimmy.
yeah. Like I mean, it's like I'm sure it worked in the sense that like people found it funny because you 2 did. Just didn't work for me.
Was it like cringy to you?
No,
like,
it wasn't.
Were
cringy.
the
It just,
attempts
like,
at humor, or
No,
did they just kind of just like
I'd look at them and I'd be like, I see the attempt at humor here. I just like I don't find it funny.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I just like from somebody who didn't enjoy the humor, like did it take you out of it is basically what I'm.
Oh, like not really. It just kind of felt
went.
like another thing that happened, and then I just turned the page, kind of thing.
Okay.
I find in general when like the humor's not hitting, it doesn't usually take you out of it. It just makes it the peaks get less high.
Yeah.
Like you're not enjoying it as much.
It depends. It depends on the story, because like some movies, shows, or books will like tell a joke and then like they just like linger on that joke for a long time.
Yeah,
and when they
it's
do
almost
that,
like
then
self-congratulatory.
right.
Yes, yeah.
Then
Like,
that
look at how funny I am.
is not gonna. But like, I feel like this manga told its joke and then like kind of moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
And that's
Fine.
good. That's fine.
in a lot
because,
of
like,
ways,
if-
it was
if
very
you-
brief.
Yeah, because like if you find it funny, then you're gonna be laughing at it and you're gonna still be like on that page while you're like chuckling or whatever. But if you didn't, there's still more there to enjoy. So
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, right? Like the fact that the way that it uses its humor, it's not patting itself on the back. It comes, tells its joke, and then it moves on. Which, if you didn't enjoy the joke, that doesn't mean that you maybe
and there was
enjoy
another
the
part
itself.
of and there was another part of this manga that I did enjoy.
Mhm.
That we can get
The
into.
steamy stuff.
Ooh, spicy.
No, do you want me to just?
Oh,
say
go
it?
ahead. Yeah, no,
You
no.
teased it now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a free
The best part
conversation.
for me of this manga was when it was like in the serious story stuff.
Okay.
Like I thought the initial intrigue or the hook of when she's like, please kill me, I thought was super interesting.
Yeah, it was a good hook. I'd agree.
And then when it later ran with that, I was like, I'm very interested in seeing what this is.
Yeah.
So
like, you like that aspect of it? You didn't really jive with the humor. Like, did you have a easy time going through this, Jay?
So,
like, did you find the read easy?
It's weird because
how many
like
chapters did we do? 17.
It was like 14 and a half chapters.
I mean, I told you, I texted Jay, I'm like, it's 14 and a half, right? Like we're doing 14 and a half chapters. And then I read because I was reading like the physical and I was like, there's no half chapter here. And then I looked up the half chapters and they're like, literally like, they're just skits to sell the manga.
Yeah. They're like the little
You don't worry if you're
bonus
missing the 0.5s. 'cause
but anyway,
sorry.
it was weird because like I was hooked in with the like please kill me thing. And I was like, okay, this is probably going to be really cool. And then it goes into a slice of life thing, and I didn't enjoy the slice of life thing as much just because like it kind of forgets about that whole hook there a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
So like I was a little disappointed with that, but then halfway through it picks that back up and then it got more interesting for me there. So
bouncing off Jay's, I feel like this was a good case of where it's wearing a lot of hats. It's trying to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I feel like it does, some of the stuff hits for sure, but like there's some that I feel like that because it does so many things, you're going to like some of it. You're not going to like other parts of it.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the slice of life and the comedy stuff of this. I felt like the overarching like dark story that it was trying to tell with like where she's like, kill me. And then the history of she's an ancient being and stuff like that. I found that like that was the thread that kept pulling me along.
Mm-hmm.
While the slice of life comedy aspects were what got me through the chapter by chapter, I felt like what kind of made it a tougher read for me was honestly the ecchi scenes. They kind of were a bit icky for me a little bit.
I get where you're coming from. I think that like it just kind of didn't mesh together that well.
Yeah.
Like,
it did at times feel like a little out of place.
Yeah.
It get like the whole manga is like very. There's moments of like chibiness to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily chibi character designs, but like that kind of cartoony character reactions. And then all of a sudden we get these like hyper detailed like kissing scenes. The girls would be kissing and it'd be like, oh, okay, this is like a different thing.
Yeah.
And
that
like Cole's kind of getting at, like, this is a story about two technically 14-year-olds, right? And part of what made it weird for me is like, it's like super hyper detailed and like stuff like that. And I think part of that is that it's just, this is like a renowned, first of all, man writing Yuri. Second of all, he's also like mostly written hentai properties, which I feel like you can really tell.
I will say, I do just want to point this out for the listeners out there. There's nothing super explicit about the children.
No, yes.
And the mangaka makes an effort to do that. The adults, like whatever, we're going to see nips, we're going to see stuff. Yeah. But the children, you never like see anything. It's just kind of takes you out of it a little bit. It's like, whoa, this is like super detailed.
Yeah.
You know
like, I agree. I give him props for, like not obviously just going the full. Yeah. You
like,
give him some credit for that.
We're not seeing anything like.
Yeah. But it's still weird watching them like make out in the bath.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's still weird. That's still weird no matter what.
Yeah.
But like, and it's like hyper detailed and stuff. I don't know. Like I don't consider myself a prude. I like fan service from time to time. It's just like this one in particular just felt little, it just didn't fit. I just could have used this manga to have less of it.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. And I don't know, do you guys kind of feel the same way? I hear Jay agreeing with me, but
no, I agree with you. I'm just trying to make a point of like, if somebody's like, oh, I'm not going to read this because I don't want to like see underaged.
Yeah.
Like, hey, children, like teenagers kiss and stuff. And it's off-putting and you don't want to see that, but like, that's real life.
It felt real. It did feel real. Like it felt like two teenagers
like,
figuring themselves out for sure.
I think like the only real ecchi part of it was like it had a lot of panty shots of the vampire.
Yeah, that actually took me out of it too. And it was like
weird panty
shots. That like I don't. What are we doing this for?
Like it just felt like it was showing panties because it wanted to show panties rather than like
the first couple times I was like. Okay, you're just like trying to be realistic. She's wearing a dress. She jumps. You're going to see like her granny panties or whatever. And then it kept doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, this is like a thing. This is a thing.
Like not to be that guy, but like you're portraying the main character is Ichika and she is looking at that. Like, so they're not like just there to be there, right? Like Ichika's her point of view character and she wants to see them panties.
Yeah.
So
she's learning that she's into that, apparently.
It just I don't know.
I get it.
I know what you mean. Like I'm playing devil's advocate here. From an artistic
fan service
standpoint.
And like honestly, there's so much about this manga that is going to trigger debate for sure. And this is like for sure the hottest topic of it is that we've touched on it. Like there's definitely things that you could be like, that's weird. But honestly, I feel like overall, I feel positive about it, I would say. Just to spoil my thoughts just a little bit. I feel like the characters were well done for sure.
I agree. Yeah. So, like, there's our two leads, of course, but like, were there any others like standout characters? Like, who was your favorite character in this, Mike?
Oh, for me, I actually really liked Ichika, the main girl, actually. I felt like she was so like, she wore her heart on her sleeve. She's like, you kind of have the foils. You have the main girl who's like very like Genki and rambunctious and stuff like that. She's kind of like a little silly about it. And then you have the vampire Arya who's like very like stone very cold, very like the opposite. Like she's reserved.
Yeah.
She's lived a long time. She's seen a lot. She's very apathetic. And then Ichika's just like a burning ball of desire. And I found that very endearing, actually. I really liked her. Yeah.
And
what about you
Jay?
guys? Did you guys have any favorite characters?
So I'm gonna be I feel like I'm gonna be the Debbie Downer here.
Okay.
Aside from Arya, I
Mhm.
didn't really love everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Ichika was fine, but like just a little too plain for me.
Okay.
Okay.
And then everyone else, like, it just, every time a character was introduced that was like around the two leads, I just kind of felt like they were just over bloating things a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with you on that one because I found the supporting cast to be quite interesting, but
The only
I'm curious what you
supporting
have to say.
Yeah, no, sorry, Jay. Go ahead. I'll just make a note. That I can come back to.
It's just like because I was so drawn into the please kill me aspect. Every time a new character was introduced, it felt like they were drawing away from that.
Yeah, and it definitely does seem like it seems like it's going to be a slow burn on the what you're looking for from what I've seen from reading reviews of people talking about this.
Yeah.
It sounds like that is the big A plot there of please kill me and blah 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 is it it basically like moves incredibly slowly and is almost unsatisfying in the way it goes by the end.
Is just the thing that happens in manga. There's a big plot point that's introduced.
Yeah.
And it's going to get resolved by but like as long as you're slowly progressing toward it with the story that you're telling, that's fine. It's just like it felt like the other characters that were being introduced didn't serve that purpose.
Okay. Even Kara, the other vampire that comes in?
The other vampire
that was
was probably like a step in the right direction in that sense.
Okay.
It just like I feel like they didn't really know what to do with her for a bit because like she's one thing and then suddenly she's another thing.
I find Kara funny, kind of just going off of what Jay said, like how quickly her like role in the story changes, where she's kind of like antagonistic, and then Ichika and her just start talking about Arya, and they're like,
"Oh, you love her too." Yeah, we're like, "Oh, okay, we can bond over this."
Yeah, and then now she's a good guy. But Jay, like you said, you didn't really jive with any of the other characters other than Arya. So like, what was it
so
about
you like Arya? Yeah.
Why did you like Arya? Why was she your favorite?
Like, I don't know. I just thought that like she had, I liked her personality. I like, she was just like very.
I feel like you generally like the cool characters, like the kudereis and such, and I feel like she kind of fits that mold a little bit.
But like she also had like a little bit of a bubbly aspect to her.
She was spunky.
Spunky.
I
like Arya.
That aspect was probably what I liked the most about her.
Arya is like Arya and Ichika are quite similar in the sense that they're both quite bubbly, actually. It's just like Ichika just wears it on her sleeve, and Arya is very like, no, I am like composed.
I'm serious. I've been around a serious
vampire. Meanwhile, she's like, actually, one of my favorite panels is her like being excited to go for a bath because she doesn't have to interrogate this other character. She's like, oh, bath time, yay!
Yeah, see you later. I'm sleepy.
I think I come down more on the Ichika side of things as well.
Okay.
Just I like that aspect of her. Just like, she knows what she wants and she wants it, and that's it.
Would you say that the two leads have like good chemistry then? Since it is kind of, I feel like it's like a romance on the cover. They put romance tag on the cover.
Yeah.
But I feel like the romance for me was not maybe the biggest part of the story, I felt like. But maybe that's just because it has so many things going for it. I don't know. Do you guys feel like the romance is good? Do you think they have good chemistry?
Yeah, I'll let Jay go ahead first.
I liked the romance. But I think we didn't get enough of it. You know, like aside from all the hyper detailed kissing scenes,
There was a few of those.
there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
But like aside from that, yeah, we didn't really get like a lot of their, I don't want to say interactions, because like they did interact with each other a lot, but like on a more personal level, because like Ichika was kind of like, I want, like, I love you, and Arya's like, get away from me a lot of the time.
Kinda, yeah.
So,
but she kind of likes it though. She kind of
well,
likes
she does.
it.
She does.
She just got used to it.
It's just like, you know, the relationship is budding right now. So
yeah. Again, like Arya is like very closed off, so she's like there's a dynamic to the chemistry, and that's why I personally think it works as well. Like Ichika, very upfront, she wants Arya, and Arya's like, no, because I'm a vampire, I'm not going to get like overly attached. You know, the classic vampire,
classic scenario.
They're immortal. They don't want to get too attached to somebody who's only going to live for what 100 years.
Watch Twilight. Explains it very well.
Now let me say, after Jay brought up the hyper detailed kissing stuff.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna. I'm just wondering from an artistic perspective. Maybe the kissing is meant to be hyper detailed because, like, you know, these are like super
vivid moments in the
super vivid moments for
Probably.
a child, for, you know, it's their first kiss. So like, I don't know. I'm just spitballing
But
here.
their
Like
eyes
maybe
are
it's
closed.
No,
the feeling of it.
I know what Cole's trying to say, and I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I think the real reason. I think there's a real reason they're hyper. Yeah, I know what the real reason is.
I'm playing the mangaka and his justification that he would give out.
You're trying to artify everything about it.
Yeah, like maybe you know, I'm playing. I'm in ELA class trying to figure out what Catcher in the Rye means.
Sometimes it ain't that deep, buddy. Sometimes it ain't that deep.
It's not
Sometimes
that deep.
The curtain's blue.
I don't know. Hey man,
but I do like I know I teased you for that, but I actually kind of do like that interpretation of that, because like those moments are truly like some of the most vivid moments in a young person's life for sure. So
despite your eyes being closed.
Despite your eyes being closed. Yes. And I think a lot of the, to your credit too, actually, I think a lot of the scenes of the kissing and stuff like that, when their eyes are closed, Jay, I think it only shows like the mouths, which is really all you would pick up on. So
like, it's only close-ups of their face. And like the hyper detailed aspect of it is like the fluids in your mouth that, like, it's not like
it was. See, the thing is, I found the kissing in this was like, I feel like usually anime kissing grosses me out because it just looks so like weird. Like it doesn't look real. This actually looked like believable and real. Honestly, like, say what you want about the guy who wrote this. I forget his name right now. Sho Higashiyama. The guy is clearly quite talented at drawing human bodies interacting with each other.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
and I'm sure his previous works has probably toned that skill, is probably why he's those things look really good in this.
But let's just circle back.
Circle back.
Chemistry. Yeah, I think their chemistry works really well again because of those kind of budding, or head-butting desires kind of thing.
It kept me interested for sure. I'll say that.
It kept me interested. Yeah. Like Mike, where do you stand? Like, are you do you like this their romance, or?
I like their romance. I just, like I said, sometimes it just gave me the ickies a little bit. That's all. That's all. Yeah.
Well, now let's
and everything. Yeah.
Let's circle back to the circling back. The
double
art
circle
of this. Yeah, the art of this manga, I think, visually is very well done. I really like it's very clean. It's very clean and like, you know, like
polished
sense.
Yeah. It is very clean though. Like it's very nice line work. Like it's very crisp looking. Reminded me a little bit of when we did a review of Chain Soldier, how it looks very like, this is very clean and crisp. That's how I could feel the artwork. The only thing I thought about the artwork that kind of was interesting to me is it reminded me a little bit again of like Land of the Lustrous, the way it uses a lot of white space and a lot of black space around the characters.
Yeah.
And
that was something I noticed as well. Yeah. The backgrounds, like obviously,
backgrounds
like you
were
said,
weird.
the mangaka, very, very good at drawing the human body and the human body interacting.
Yes.
Maybe their lack of talent with backgrounds is apparent. Yeah. Not that they were bad, but yeah, like you said, there was a lot of
generic
lacking backgrounds. Yeah. Now, Jay, you're the big manga guy.
Yeah,
how did you feel about the art in this one?
I thought that the detail and the shading in the art really reminded me of Summer Hikaru Died, especially like with how it was done for the supernatural scenes.
Okay.
And the thing that I will say about the art in regards to that is like, I think that the super detailed art for like the kissing stuff blurred the lines a little between like the supernatural stuff, because like the art in that was a lot different than the art when it was just like a slice of life thing. Like it was a lot simpler, a lot more like just kind of like, I don't want to say like outlines, but like they're not drawn with like as much shading or anything. But because there's those super detailed scenes, it allows it to feel more like the supernatural realism that the main plot lines art kind of has.
Okay.
Okay. So like the supernatural aspect of the story, like what happens in this story that is overtly, other than the vampires, like what do you mean when you're talking about like
when they go and find that sword in the first chapter, like it was like not hyper detailed, but like had like a very dark shaded atmosphere.
It felt spooky for sure.
It gave the spooky vibes for good reason. Like, I mean, that sword has a lot of significant purpose to both the plot and the Arya's motivation.
For a lot of like intents and purposes, it's like very much the what's the like
MacGuffin.
It's the MacGuffin of the whole thing. Like you don't really see it do anything ever, but a lot of people are very interested in it for some reason.
And whenever it goes back to that, like that's when the art kind of goes back to
that's when you're vibing. Jay.
And like I kind of said earlier, I feel like the supernatural elements of it were like worthwhile because they kind of were the thing that kept pulling me along through the slice of life stuff. And I appreciate when slice of life has that overarching thread pulling me forward, like a zip line. And I don't know. Do you guys feel like they're like worthwhile having did they add anything to the story?
Oh, 100%. I would say like they're not vital to the story because there's good slice of, obviously there's very good slice of life stuff that's not supernatural, but it's a nice hat that this is wearing, you know, like, oh, wonderful, wonderful outfit you're wearing in that hat. You look tip top, buddy.
Yep.
What a lovely hat you're wearing. It's just, it's a nice capper. I think it adds to it in the sense that it keeps you interested, because otherwise, it's just kind of a generic Yuri.
Yeah.
And if you're just looking for a Yuri, go read Bloom Into You. Like this has that supernatural aspect of it to differentiate it. I think it works. And I think it's worthwhile. Jay, do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the supernatural stuff is more interesting than the slice of life stuff. I mean, Mike was saying that the supernatural thing in that main plot line is kind of what kept him trudging through or kept him interested through the slice of life stuff, which kind of goes to show like how interesting that thing really is. Because like if it was boring, then Mike wouldn't really care about the supernatural stuff and just kind of forget about it when.
Yeah, it was interesting to me because like I felt like the supernatural stuff with it actually did a really good job of kind of just like being mysterious, which I feel like supernatural stuff needs that mystery to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the main character, Arya, the vampire there, she gets upset when like when the other characters call her a vampire. She's like, I don't like that term. And I thought that was kind of like interesting enough. And again, because of these supernatural aspects, it kind of like made me like look into that a little bit. And if you like look back at the actual meaning of the term she prefers, Lilu, it actually like goes all the way back to like very ancient things like like Christianity, pre everything else. And it's like, oh, okay, she's like referring to herself being like a children of Lilith. Like, that's interesting that she says that. And actually, like in my research on this, I was like, oh, she's not even actually a vampire. She's kind of closer to like a succubus almost. That's why she doesn't burn up in the sun. That's why she's not scared of garlic and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, this guy actually kind of put like a lot of thought into this. Yeah. And like that kind of stuff pulls you through, keeps you interested, right?
It keeps you interested. It leaves it up to you. Like if you want to look into that, it only adds to it. But you're not like, I need to know, like, oh, I don't know what a Lilu is. Like that ruins the story. But if you go and you look, like that kind of establishes her as like an ancient being. It kind of differentiates vampires as what they are in this story. Is not quite like the current mythology of a vampire.
She's like, there's no real thing that currently fits. Like you don't.
Yeah, I think it's just good world building in a story that's not really about world building. Yeah, Jay, what do you? Yeah, do you agree?
I mean, I think that the world building was super interesting. It like just introducing Arya as a character already posed the intrigue of like, who is she? Like where does she come from? And those things. And I think that it's really cool that there are some parts that you can just like look into and the story doesn't even explain to you itself. Yeah. Because like it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
It's like extra credit. If you want it, go for it. If you don't,
which is good. I like when things do that, when they kind of like it's just, again, like Cole said, good world building, when it leaves you with more to discover. There's more to look into if you want.
Like you don't need to know why Han Solo got his gun or where he got his gun from.
Right. Because when you do find out, it's lame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But this, I like that though. I like, because I've just got the Wikipedia page open for Lilu, and it's very interesting. Like, it's talking about Akkadian literature, Sumerian literature, which of course are ancient civilizations of man.
Yeah. Sumeria is like the first, if you're not, it's like the very first civilization is Sumeria.
Yeah. Anunnaki. The people who watch Ancient Aliens know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. Speaking of Ancient Aliens, do you guys think that this would make a good anime?
Ancient Aliens would not make a good anime. It's not even that good of a, well, no, I enjoy it.
It's entertaining. Aliens. It's entertainment is what it is. Yeah.
Well, I'll hold off on my answer for would this make a good anime. Mike, why don't you answer it? You asked the question.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I got to answer. Yeah, obviously this would make a good anime. It's very, I feel like it would be very artsy, the anime. It's not going to be the sort of thing I feel like I can picture it in my head. It wouldn't be the sort of thing that's going to top the charts in any season, but like it's going to be like Call of the Night, like where the people who watched it, you know what's up. You know it's good. It'll be, at the end of the day, it won't be rated that highly, but the people who watched it really liked it. And I think that's how I could picture the anime. What do you guys think?
I think you've nailed it. Get out of my head and into my car.
No. Okay.
Where are we going?
McDonald's?
Jay, you can come too.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for last second inviting me.
Well, come on. Come on, we're going.
We're not in the car yet. In the car would be last second.
Yeah. I agree. I think this would be a nice anime. Maybe an OVA. I don't know. Like I think I think
it'd almost have to be, actually.
It would make a perfectly serviceable anime. I don't think it's required. I think the manga is totally fine on its own. Yeah. If there was an anime adaptation, I'd watch it for sure. I'd be happy.
As long as it was done stylish enough. I feel like it.
Oh, well, of course. Yeah. If it looks like garbage, then.
Yeah. But I mean, you can say that about any anime.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But this one in particular, I feel like it's kind of got that like, imagine if Call of the Night didn't have those like,
the style,
purples and the style to it, right? And it was just animated like your typical slice of life anime. It wouldn't be the same, and I think that applies here.
Yeah. Give it to Shaft.
Cole, get out of my head.
Yeah, there
Hey,
you go.
come on,
into his
we're
card.
going.
Yeah, we're going.
I think
Breakfast.
if Shaft did this, it probably would be pretty good because
Mm.
it does have a lot of things that like kind of line up with
would have been a good
Monogatari.
comparison. Yeah,
Mm.
Monogatari would have been a good,
Oh, yeah,
good
that's a good
comparison
one.
off the top.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Obviously, like in terms of subject matter, it's a little different, but like on a pure visual level,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some similarities there. And yeah, I think if Akiyuki Shimbo did this, probably be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It'd be bussin'.
Imagine Ichika seeing Arya for the first time, like out in the garden.
And she's head tilting.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good, Jay.
Ooh,
That's good.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think the manga stands on its own too. I would
I agree.
enjoy it.
Doesn't need it. It would be good. It doesn't need it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give our final thoughts on our ratings, and I guess we'll do this as a sandwich because I've got a feeling Mike's probably a little higher on this than Jay is. So let's start with Mike.
I feel like half
the vibe I've got.
I feel like half the fun of our reviews is at the end. You get a feeling, but you don't know. You don't know until you know, and you're about to know because I'm going to tell you my final thoughts.
Let me know.
Did enjoy this manga. There's enough here that kept me interested in hanging along that I had a good time with it. But there's also enough here that kind of just made me kind of like, this is just uncomfortable at times.
Mm-hmm.
There were times where, I went over it earlier in the episode, so I don't need to dive back into it. But I think like the goods outweigh the bad on average. And I think that overall, I'm just tossed up here. You know what? Hell, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say it tickled my jimmies, guys. I thought it was quite good. It's a low tick. It just an ever little tickle of the jimmies.
It just barely tickles your jimmies.
Yeah, I just giggle a little, and I go, ooh. But like, I think I will probably. The other thing that appeals to me is this is a completed manga too, and I do enjoy reading a completed work because then I know that there's an end in sight, and it's at least going to be an end and not just it's on indefinite hiatus. Yeah. So I think I will continue it, and I did tickle my jimmies ever so slightly. Now, Jay Garrity and Sama, tell us about your jimmies and were they tickled?
Cole, was that the order you had in mind?
Yeah. Because I'll go last.
Yeah.
I was interested in this manga. I think it had a lot of ideas that were really interesting. But there were also a lot of other ideas that kind of took me out of it. And I know for sure that there is definitely a market for this manga, and if you're into stuff like The Summer Hikaru Dies, this is right up your alley, I feel. So take that how you will, but it didn't do enough for me to make me want to finish it. So I'd probably say, with all that said, if it weren't for the review, I'd probably consider it.
Okay. If it weren't for the review.
Jay's breaking the scale now. What does that mean?
Take that as you will.
Take that as you will.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure we'll have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
Later. I will beat you senseless for breaking the
it's my
scale.
Turn, though. Before the beating begins, let me beat this beat. Jay, drop a beat.
No.
Okay.
That's your beat.
Oh, no, I didn't ask for you, Mike. I asked for Jay to drop a beat, and if he doesn't want to, then he doesn't have to. Yeah.
Fine.
I don't want your whack beats, Mike.
Well, you got them anyway.
What about DJ Mustard's beat?
DJ Mustard's beat?
Muzz it on the beat. I like it.
Okay, how did I feel about this? My final thoughts, my rating. Well, spoilers, I've read the manga. I've completed it.
Okay.
So off the bat, I enjoy it. I think the humor really works. It kind of gives you that but like I don't know. I guess I got a thicker skin for that. So
it depends on how thick your skin is, for sure.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't like, hey, if you're not jiving with it, stop.
It's also just like to some degree it's suspension of disbelief, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's a tough recommendation. Like if you went out on a limb and were like, you should really read this to people on the street, that'd be a strange move.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing is though, like, yeah, it's got its nice hat, but if you take that hat away, what is it? It's a pretty generic Yuri manga. But it is a nice hat. I'm digging
It's
that.
a pretty nice hat.
I think it's fur lined.
It's
got a nice pair of
warm.
has a nice pair of shoes too, actually.
Yeah.
Think about it. Nice pair of shorts.
I will say its brevity was very nice too. In a macro sense, it's only 46 chapters. It's a quick read. You could realistically do that in a day.
9
There are
volumes.
long chapters though. Yeah.
No, they're not too bad. They were like what,
30,
28 30 chapters.
28 to 33 chapters or pages.
Yeah.
Pages per chapter.
Yeah.
And on a review sense, oh, what an easy read.
I mean, you've already read
three
it.
volumes. The 3 volumes that we read were quite short. It's only 14 chapters, 14 and a half.
We
2
read a third of
halves.
it, basically. Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough to like I said, if you enjoy any of the recommendations that we made, Bloom Into You, Summer Hikaru Died, Call of the Night, I would say, Monogatari, stuff like that. I think you'd get a kick out of this one. I'm not going to say certified. I'd hold off for other stuff that we said were recommendations. I think just do what this does better. But it definitely tickles my jimmies. I enjoy this manga. Much like the manga, my brevity knows no bounds. I am very good and succinct, succinct, and punctual. So let us know what you think of Vampeerz. We've got manga reviews coming up, though. Our next manga review will be 20th Century Boy, followed by Love Bullet. I'm sorry. But we do have our Listener's Choice review coming up in a few weeks. That'll be Serial Experiments Lain. It's 13 episodes. Go watch it. Be my first rewatch of it. So
go watch it, and then once you're done, go watch it again. And then once you're done that, go watch it again.
Yeah.
And then once you've done that, go watch it again.
And because this one's a weird one, you can watch it on YouTube. Just Google Serial Experiments Lain. It's available on Internet Archive. You can watch it. It's free. Yeah.
Just go watch it. Just go watch it.
Go watch it. And then watch it
go
again.
watch it. I'm not going to judge you on how you watched it.
And again.
Yeah. Just keep watching.
Again.
Just keep
Just
watching. I said. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of AniPro. If you liked it, please leave a like, review, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. If you really liked it, why don't you consider supporting us on Patreon, like these lovely people: Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Braindead B-Dog, Peach, Frama, Kratos, Just Juzz, Mogmog, Antonio Bustos, Uncle of Light, Super Mexi. By supporting us on Patreon, you get access to all sorts of perks, and it really helps out the show. We're also on social media at AniProPod. And please join our Discord community to keep up with us and other listeners. Come over there, talk to us. We miss you.
We do. Yeah. It's always nice talking to people in there.
Links to everything, by the way, it's in the description or at our website, AniProPod.com. Jay, you did it last week because we were fighting and we had to bury the hatchet. But this time, Mike, let's bury the hatchet here. Why don't you lead us in a round of bye-byes?
Okay, well, first of all, Cole, you. Jay, you. Bye-bye.
All right. See,
all right.
Jay, you came in with that kind of energy last week, and now Mike had to match it.
Yeah.
And now what am I going to do next week? Tune in next week and find out. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You didn't have a spiel? I'm in a spiely mood. I don't know.
Bye-bye.